What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday to you. Today is a great day. I'm excited for today. I don't know about you, but I'm excited. I'm excited to share with you guys some thoughts. I look at a lot of resumes. All right. So I look at a lot of resumes, and there's a couple things that stand out to me when I'm looking at a resume that I thought I would share. And so I want your help, though. Okay. So I need your help. I want your help. I'm kind of considering the language, the words to use, the phrasing of these. 5 questions to ask when writing a standout or killer resume. Okay. So I need your help. Do you like the language of it? Do you like the words, the phrasing? Is there a better way of phrasing each one of these questions? Because I want to make sure that they're written in a way that everyone understands what they're trying to say. So I get it. I get what I'm trying to say, but I want to make sure that you understand it, that everybody understands it when they see it. So we'd love your help. Leave a comment below if you want to change one of these, the phrasing of it. And do you even like the title? 5 questions to ask when writing do you like standout or do you like killer resume? Okay, so which one is it? Do you like standout or killer? So 5 questions to ask when you're writing a standout or killer resume. Which one do you like more? I kind of like killer, but I think standout is probably a little bit more going to be widely accepted. So there we go. So let's go through some of these, and I would love for your input to be given in the comments. All right. So what do you guys want? So let's see. Number one is this: is it free from insider language that needs explanation? What's ironic about it is I feel like I need to explain this one. So this is probably one that I would like some help on. Okay. So is it free from insider language that requires explanation? So here's the deal. Oftentimes I see insider language. So the name of your kids ministry or the name of the youth ministry. So whatever kid, whatever, I don't know. I'm spacing on kids ministry names or youth ministry names, but get rid of that. Just say the youth ministry or the kids ministry. And so some people will say like, I led whatever Big Fish ministry. And it's like, well, what is Big Fish ministry? I don't know what that means. Right. And so try to get rid of those insider languages. Also, like the name of your church, there's probably lots of churches that are named your size. So your name. So like, make sure there's the city, the state, things that distinguish it from every other church that has that same name, unless it's a very distinct branded church that nobody else has, which I don't know. There's a lot of those out there. So make sure that you have things that distinguish that so that we know what's going on. All right. Number two is does it speak to accomplishments, growth, and development of the ministry that I ran? Does it speak to the development, the growth, the accomplishments of the ministry that I ran? So for example, I see a lot of things, let's just say kids ministry. I oversaw curriculum. I oversaw planning. I oversaw budgeting. I oversaw teaching. I spoke on a weekly basis, things like that. And all of that is assumed in the title kids pastor. So take all that out. We're assuming that that's already in there, that's part of what you did. That is, but what did you do? We opened a special needs ministry while we were there. We developed, we went from 1 classroom to 5 classrooms. We went from 20 volunteers to 50 volunteers. Those all speak to development. I initiated a at home, whatever, these things that you did. Youth ministry. We took the youth ministry on their first overseas missions trip while I was there. What are some things that you accomplished, that you did things differently, that you saw growth, you saw it develop? We went, small group attendance went from 10% to 50% while I was there. Leader retention stayed at 80% while I was there. Those types of things speak to what you did, and not just the things that every single kids pastor, every single youth pastor does. So don't give me those things. Give me those things that speak to what you actually did. Next thing is does it visually stand out in the sea of resumes? Look, there's a sea of resumes that churches are going to be getting that you're giving to. Okay. Don't assume that you're the only one and they're just so excited to spend the next 20 minutes waiting, looking through this very boring, like manuscript type of a document. Okay. Make it visually attractive. Make it something that they look at and says, okay, they spent some time. They got maybe even somebody, a graphic designer involved. There's a great photo of you. There's a great photo of you and your family. There's a great photo of you doing ministry, something like that. There's some uniqueness about it. So, sometimes I'll tell people to put in their things that, in like different blocking. And so it's like down here, there's like some, even like fun things you like to do for fun. And there maybe even like a logo of those, you like Batman. So maybe there's a Batman logo as well, or something like that just stands out a little bit, makes it a little bit different than every other single resume that comes in. Okay. The next one is can it be scanned in 10 seconds or less and represent you well? Again, most people are not going to spend much more than 10 to 30 seconds scanning your resume. And if it doesn't look good in that time, they're probably not going to dive in that much deeper. And so people aren't going to commit to like 10 minutes to try and read through. I mean, I've seen resumes that are like 9 pages long that look more like a short novel than they look like as a resume. Okay. We don't need your entire life story. We don't need your entire ministry philosophy. We don't need all of that on this resume at this point. Okay. It's great to have some of those. Maybe you can even make note of that. Like, I have these available, or maybe I've seen currently some people even adding like QR codes to the resume that can take them to a page that has more information like that if somebody's interested. Okay. And then number five is this: is there just enough information to entice a conversation while leaving room for questions? Okay. That's really what I'm going to right there. Is this resume enticing? Is it whetting the appetite? Is it whetting the appetite so that people say, man, I want to get more information. I'd love to ask them more questions about that. How did you go from 20% to 50%? How did you, what did you do to start that special needs ministry? How did that happen? Asking follow-up questions. Hey, what is your philosophy on these things? So make sure you leave room for follow-up questions. Sometimes I see people writing huge paragraphs, and that's not really what the resume is for. The resume is really to get you a first conversation. It's not to fill in all of the blanks. It's not to leave no room for questions. The resume is supposed to be there to help you get a first conversation. That's it. Not to tell them every single thing that you believe about ministry, your daily schedule, your redemptive story in great detail. Just all of those things bog down that process. And again, you want somebody to be able to look at it in 10, 30 seconds and have a good feel of, man, I want to dive in deeper with this resume. And then they dive in a little bit deeper with that resume. And then that leads them to say, hey, let's pick up the phone, have a conversation with this person, or let's have a Zoom with this person. Okay. The goal is not to answer every question possible. And I see that happen quite often. So, guys, give me a comment. Let me know what you think. First one here is it free from insider language that needs explanation? Symbols of your youth ministry name, your kids ministry name, codes that, people don't know, that they're just not common to, it's a big deal to you. Maybe it's a big deal in where you're working, but it's not a big deal outside of that. Does it speak to accomplishments, growth, and development of the ministry I ran. Again, not just a list of I set up chairs, I did planning center, I spoke. Those are all assumed by the title. So what did you accomplish? What did you do? Okay. Does it visually stand out in the sea of resumes? Again, is it attractive to the eye? Color coordination, photos, logos, images, graphs, things like that. Again, don't get too overboard, but at least something. And then can it be scanned in 10 seconds or less and represent me well? So can they visually scan? They can just see some numbers. They can see percentages. They can see, again, like your church clearly, where's it at? Things like that. Is there enough information to entice a conversation, but not answer every single question that's possible? Okay. So those are the 5 questions that I think that we should be asking ourselves. Would love to hear in the comments. What do you think about those? Are those clear? Can I reword those a little bit differently to speak a little bit broader? Would you add one? What would you add? And again, do you like 5 ways or 5 questions to ask when you're writing a killer or a standout resume? I want to hear. Let me know in the comments. Thanks, guys, for watching. See you guys. Have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow.